What D do I want to play? Okay, they've got a spy here. Okay, so what I'm trying to do, Brandon, I'm trying to find a way to show you how the spy works. So on defense, you'll see that my linebacker here, Barry, he's highlighted, so he's the spy. Okay, so now the game you played, you ran a lot of quarterback contain, which was in man coverage, and Justin, I think, realized how to burn you. I think he realized that you were just going to run the same play, so ultimately he just kept rolling out to the right, let his receiver cross the field, which would eventually outrun you, which caused you problems. So the first thing, look at my D lineman, and you'll see the red lines slant a certain way. Okay, so you can actually change the way those lines slant. So you hit triangle, which brings up your defensive adjustments. I'm sorry, triangle. You don't want to hit triangle. What you want to hit is you hit left on your directional pad, and then it shows you can either shift your D line left, right. You can pinch them, you can spread them. So I'm going to pinch them down. Let's try that again. It didn't look like they pinched very well. And then the other thing you can do is decide which way you want them to attack. So right now, let me erase it. Right now you can see the left end's just heading straight, the D tackle's kind of heading towards the left end, and then your right end, or I'm sorry, the right side that you're looking at, the right side of the screen, which is technically the left end, he's heading towards 58. So I'm going to slant them. I'm going to slant them right. So hopefully I'm going to slant them into the run. So now you see the D end on the right side of the screen. He's now going the opposite direction. So I'm just going to run this play, let it run, and see where they go. Okay, so nothing major, but it shows you that you can actually change what your position grouping for those particular D linemen do. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because I'm in zone coverage, right? You don't have to be in man coverage to run contain. You can contain with your 2D ends simply by hitting R1. And when you hit R1, this brings up like which way do you want to shift your defense? Do you want to guess the play? So if you think the defense is going to run the ball, then you push down on the right stick. Okay, so I'm gonna do this and watch what kind of pressure I get. At the same time the pressure comes through, you're going to see my DBs probably take a step or two forward if this works properly. They'll take a step or two forward properly, and then it leaves the receivers more susceptible to a pass. So I called it down. I called for a run play. So, well, it didn't actually work, but the safeties, you see how all the DBs stood there. Now, let's watch. I don't have instant replay. Maybe the play's got to die. Okay, now we're going to do instant replay. So just kind of watch from the aerial view. So the two safeties are supposed to be in coverage. They're supposed to be too high. But as you run the play, they break because I called a run. I basically predicted they're going to run the ball. They didn't. Now, as you watch the play unfold a little bit more, my DBs stand there and the receivers all run by them. So that's the kind of the disadvantage of picking whether you think your opponent's going to run or pass, right? It's a good thing to use. I usually use it in like goal line situations because if it's like short yardage. Let's say they're on the 2-yard line. I'm going to run the risk of taking a chance and calling a run stop and seeing if I can stop them or not, because they're probably going to score a touchdown anyway, right? But you get the drift. So the way you do that again is R1, and then you can pick. You want to go. I'm sorry, that's not right. Hold on. Okay, R1. It pulled up right now. So R1, you're guessing the play. You're going to guess they're going to run right, they're going to run left, they're going to run up the middle, or you're going to guess a pass play. So I'm going to guess a pass play. I'm already at advantage because I know it's going to be a pass play. And then here's the other thing I'm going to do here. Again, watch the DNs. See how they're kind of crashing into the line? So now you hit R1, look down the right-hand corner of the screen, and under guess play it says R1 again. If you hit R1 again, it's quarterback contain. So that's what you do every time if you're playing a quarterback that's a running quarterback like Jalen Hurts. So now, as soon as I hit that, see those ends? Now they're containing. They're going to block in that quarterback if he tries to scramble. Okay? So let's see if it works. Okay, yep, they held the pocket there and he didn't go anywhere. So let me reposition the ball here real quick. And this is the other thing I kind of want to show you. I want the receivers to have a little bit more room to run, because as you saw, that the quarterback held onto the ball for a while. So I'm gonna didn't get it. So the quarterback's got all that time. I didn't even contain. Now you see how that DN or that guy, that DB, he was sitting in zone coverage. This is what I want to show you. So we're going to watch the instant replay. So I'm going to do an aerial view. I'm going to back up a little bit. Now I've got zone coverage on, right? So you got all those guys, all those wide receivers on the right, they're streaking. So the DBs stay up in zone coverage. So this is what your team, you had a couple linebackers almost the entire game when you were running quarterback contain. Your linebackers were staying right about where the 40-yard line is now. So look at those guys underneath, those DBs, they're all standing there, right? So how do you get them to move? Well, you can lock onto one and you can run him up. Or what I did, you'll watch this closest DB, and it's always the closest player to the ball carrier. I pushed in R3, the stick, the right stick, you push it in, and that DB will come up to make the tackle or to pursue the ball runner. So that's kind of a trick that it's not really out there in the instructions anywhere that people know about. So I'm going to do it again. Now I did quarterback contain. So if he tries to flush out, he's going to stay there. I'm going to jump off and control this DB because Barry's in a spy, and Barry should stay closer to the line than everybody else. Now I'm sending Barry. See how that works? So Barry went rushing up there. Now you don't want to always let your spy guy go too fast, because if you do, he's going to run into that blocker like what just happened. But let's see if we can do it again. Okay, so I got coverage. Barry, stand there. Send him. Now, he still got blocked. We still got contain. But you kind of see that's a couple things you can do. Plays are never going to run that long. That's a Hail Mary that, just ran. But I wanted to at least show you that so you have an idea that, hey, you can run quarterback contain out of almost any formation that you want. Now send Barry. See how Barry's got a wide open angle now? Problem is, it's bad zone coverage once they get down the field because they can only run so far. So let's press them. I'll delay them a little bit to be able to give Barry a little bit more. Now send Barry. See? Worked a little bit better, but I got one guy covering 3 receivers down there, so it doesn't really work well. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to call an audible I'm going. Now I'm gonna. Now I've got Duger in there running spy. He's going now. I just sent him in. Now I got man-on-man coverage down there. See, oh, there we go. Got a pick, and we're off. We're gonna flip the ball. No. Anyways, I wanted to show you that because it was driving me nuts the other day. That I mean, obviously, I knew that he was. Now I'm gonna spy both those guys. Quarterback contain. I'll control one of the spies. I'm gonna press. Now let's see how this works. Quarterbacks contain, get spies, got blitzes. Go get him. Set my spy in. A little bit more pressure. But it was driving me nuts because he was running the same play. We knew it, and I think he just picked up on, hey, if Brandon's going to stay in the same play, I'm not going to frickin' change. There, quarterback contain. See. And that contain kept him from dropping outside and allowing him to get outside. That's kind of the hope. Now here's the other thing. Sometimes this is what I do. See that linebacker? This guy who was my spy normally, he's blitzing. So I'm going to drop Stewart into a spy and and I'm going to put contain on. So now I've got three guys blitzing, but Stewart's going to trick him up a little bit, and he's going to drop back in coverage. Now he's a little closer. Now I'm going to send him. Still got blocked. Not ideal, but you get a guy that runs like Jalen Hurts, then you want a faster guy like that linebacker. Normally, obviously, people they're not going to drop Stewart into coverage, but sometimes I do that. I'll drop Stewart into pass coverage, let Barry blitz. If this number 12, like a guy like Art, he'll run drags. He'll drag you to death. If he notices you're playing in zone, he'll just run drag, and drop all those short routes. Or sometimes, like when we played, you would drop some of those short routes. So I'll drop this guy back into a spy to kind of take out that passing lane for you just over the line. Send him. Anyhow, like I said, just wanted to kind of show you that, give you a little bit of a heads up that I think it'll help your game, knowing that you can do quarterback contain out of any position. You don't have to worry about running the same coverage, because the pass coverage you were running were man coverage, and if he's got faster receivers than you, then they're going to run past you all day long, and you're not going to do there's nothing you're going to do about it. So anyways, I'll save this. I'm going to send it over to you, and if you got any more questions on it, just let me know. See how all those guys are staying around? They're all just standing there. And that, it sucks because there's nothing you can do about it. You can send the one guy. Watch this on this Hail Mary. We'll put it down like this. So you got all those guys kind of in that medium zone coverage just standing there. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, the one thing you can do to change that a little bit, and I'll show you here in a second, it's match coverage that's in your defensive setup. So I'll show you that here too. So let's close that out. I'm just gonna choose a new play so I can show you here. All right, so I'm gonna run. Where's the zone coverage? Okay, so I'm running $3-2 cover 3 buzz spy. Now this works in zone coverage, and so I'm running the Hail Mary still. Oh shit, I forgot. I didn't do it again. Let me show you. It's in your defensive adjustments, your coach adjustments. So you go down here. I always do this play ball. Corner matchups up to you. You can do overall, highest rated DB versus highest rated wide receiver. Some people do by speed, whatever your preference is. The other thing I do is zone coverage match. So your zone defenders drop to their zone midpoints. Like what I just showed you on that instant replay. All the guys drop to that level. Now, if you do match, the zone defenders read the routes of the receivers to determine the coverage responsibilities. So let's run that play, that zone defense versus Hail Mary. Now let's see if those DBs match the receivers and run all the way back. That's what I'm really curious about, to see how well it works. Okay, so they're still floating back. No, they didn't quite go all the way. They went a little bit further, but let me, I think part of what you can do is you change, also in here, when you do that match, so you do like, you set your defaults to like how far you want them to drop. Overrides the drop depth of the hard flat, cloud flat. 5, let's do 5, let's do 10. So flat zones, curl flats, hooks. Now let's see. We'll see on this pass coverage when I come out. So you see a hook curl. We set the hook curls at 5. We set the curl flats, I believe, at 10. So the two outside DBs should be dropping to 10. The hook curls should be dropping to 5 if I set that up properly. So let's see if they match and kind of follow that. It might have been vice versa. I might have did 10 and 5. So anyways, they did kind of match up with where I thought the coverage would be. And so you can do that with your defense as well. So anyhow, that's kind of all I've got for now, but I wanted to at least kind of give you those little bits of information to see if it helps you next time you play a user. If you got CPU, practice it versus the CPU and see, hopefully you get a running quarterback, but practice it and see, see, he broke contain. And I wasn't even paying attention. I saw he broke containment, but that doesn't happen all that often. But I didn't send the DBs out there. So you see that running quarterback was able to get that close and to the DBs, and they were just kind of mirroring him from where they were. They weren't coming up to pursue him. So I want to try something. I want to see if there's if I can push down on the right stick, if they all just go. Nope. Yeah, that quarterback's not moving. The other thing to notice too, in your game, sometimes you drop back way too far. And if you do drop back way too far, you kind of break the containment in the backside. And so the guys are able to sack you easier the further you drop back. So just be aware, if you start getting outside the pocket, your chances of getting sacked are pretty darn good. I know Justin did it a couple times too, because you're able to get sacks, but there we go. See, he had him contained on the outside there. He stepped up into the pocket to try to run him, and he came back and got him. So that's how that containment should work. Ooh, looks like it. Ooh. Anyways, that's what I got for you. Watch it. Hopefully it helps. And give me a shout if you got any questions on how to improve your game. Later, buddy.